Pitch, that boy. Yeah, it's got movement. You pulled the glove side. Did you feel it?
Yes, sir.
Make sure you're staying closed. Your chest is coming straight to your catcher as much as possible.
Yes, sir.
Get your leg up a tad bit higher because when you're lifting, you're kind of here and you're kind of drifting forward instead of getting in that back hip and then going. That'll increase your velo and your command on your fastball. Get that leg up, drive with that back hip. Yeah, that was good. Close. Hey, reach out further. That's pretty solid. Drew, this looks good, bud. That's not a bad pitch. That's a good 0-2 pitch. Remember, stay tall on your back hip just a little bit and then go forward. Got Ken? Try to gas that one up. But realistically speaking, that's a good 0-2 pitch. Beautiful. Attaboy. So hard to do. What happened on that one?
Got out.
Yep, that's exactly right. You got under. Good. 5 more. Very nice. gotta be more there. Okay?
Maybe slightly off.
Hey, one more, he's full. Tanner, with you and Braden catching, you know, it's something y'all gotta look for too with pitchers, you know, if they're missing, go up there and say, hey, you're pulling your glove side or you're underneath it.
Listen.
Got some mobility. I try to normally start from bottom, work my way up. So, you know, that kind of starts with some ankle mobility, you know, some calf work, some calf stretching, and then hamstring, quad, outside of the hip, inside, and then low back, work up into the lats, pec, and this is pretty much it. Also do a little bit of forearm work, but yeah, that's about it. So normally I start off. Find yourself a wall. You're gonna stick your fist up next to the wall, and then push your toe up against your fist, and just try to touch the wall with your knee. Works on ankle mobility and stretches your calf. Now we got another calf stretch, a downward dog with foot pedals. So basically that looks like this. Move your feet up like this and then straighten one out. I'm done with calves. That's pretty much all I do for calves. Yeah, I don't really think they require too much. Just a little stretch makes them feel a little better, and it's not like sore calves is gonna really affect your performance that much either way. So now I work on some hamstrings just to start off, just to kind of prime me and get me a little loose enough to do other things. I just do I just do touch toes, you know. Now, touch my toes for about 10 seconds. Now I just work into a little bit of a deeper range. Normally I can only go like fingertips on the ground, but I really try to put my palms on the ground. Just depends on the day. Work into quads and hip flexors. You know, normally if you're stretching the quad, you're probably also stretching the hip flexor, vice versa. But because they work in the same plane. But normally I start off with just like a quad pull like this. If you struggle with balance, you can just hold on to a wall or something. But yeah, just kind of quad pull like that. Not too long, but just something like kind of like the hamstring thing. Just work your way into harder movements. Now that I did just quad pulls, I'm feeling a little bit more loose. Now it's kind of that next level. Not quite, not quite too hard just yet, but pushing yourself pretty well. Now it's just, I don't know if you can see from that angle, but like just to kind of reaching your foot out there into a lunge with knee on the ground and just really keeping an upright posture and really pushing the hip flexor forward. Really stretches the hip flexor. Gets the quad pretty good as well. A little sippy poo of Diet Coke. Oh, there you go. Now, I think this is the final thing that I do for my quads and hip flexors is a couch stretch. I think that's what it's called. Pretty sure. But basically what I'm doing is I'm gonna put my knee as close as I can up against the wall, have my foot like up against the wall, and then stick my leg out, and then basically just in a lunge but with my foot up. It'll make sense. Damn. This door kind of sucks for this, but oh shoot, that hurts. Oh, and this one hurts every single time I do it, but now I will do a a kneeling frog, or a half kneeling frog. I guess that would be the right term, but sorry for the inconvenience. Just one knee down, and then other leg out. We're just sitting into this leg, letting the toe. You can't really see it, but once I lean back, letting the toe come up like that. You get a real good deep stretch in the inside, right inside of your leg. I don't know if it's the abductor or adductor, but I think it's one or the other. But these are pretty nice. And then a couple rockers back, and then coming in like this. No diddy, but yeah, like that. Now work the outside of the hip. Pretty much only do a pigeon stretch for that, which well, actually sometimes I'll do an elevated pigeon stretch. Gets even more of a stretch, but that's, I don't really have anywhere to do that in the house. Normally I'll just do that at the gym, maybe after a leg day or something. But this will look like knee up like this, and then I'm pretty tight right here, but just do this. I normally try to touch my head to the ground and work side to side, knee to ankle, and you'll really feel a good stretch. Little sippy poo of Diet Coke. All right. Now, pure hip work now. I'll do pretty much just a hip 90-90. This one really gets the hips, but I do a lot of variations of it, so keep watching. First, a hip 90-90. This is pretty common thing, but I guess some people don't know about it. Basically, just getting each leg into a 90-degree angle, and then you are going to rotate your hips just like this. If you're new to the stretch or new to the to this drill, you can keep your hands back like I'm doing right now, like hands on the ground. Typically, this is what I do to start off, and then I'll work into, once my hips are nice and loose, I'll work into no hand and then other variations. So now I'll do just internal rotation. I have like very little internal rotation of the hip. So that's just internal rotation is with the foot going out. So looking at it from this angle, it's like that. So the hip is turning in like this. And then external rotation would be like this. Hips turning out, right? So still in the hip 90-90 position. And we're just doing internal rotation. I normally do, my typical 5 per side. And then you're going to do external rotation. Getting that knee as high as you can, high and out as you can. Now I do just no arm, and then reach back. You'll feel a good stretch in your spine. Slowly move farther, and then turn it over again. So that's pretty much it for lower half mechanics, or I meant lower half mobility. But now I just work into my back, lats, pec, forearms. But yeah. So first thing, so you kind of have to understand your spine moves through like vertical like this, flexion, extension, right? And then it also moves side to side like this, and then it also moves rotationally like this. So you kind of have to work with all of those. So normally first thing I do is I will do a cat cow, just like this. I normally get on my fist because it gets you into deeper ranges. First, push out into flexion, and then reach out into. Now that we're done with that, work into some rotational spine movement. Got to make sure you have some room for this. You're just going to go straight leg on the leg that's on the ground, and then the leg that's over, the leg that's on top, just moving over, bent knee. You're going to touch your hand over here and reach back, touch the ground on the other side. Take a couple deep breaths and come back. And I normally do about 5 reps on each side. Since we're done with rotational work for the spine, now we're just working side to side. I feel like this one probably isn't as important as the other two, but still important because you think when you pitch, you're going to reach back and you're gonna reach back and then you're gonna come here. But just work through the range. All I do for this is I just reach down as far as I can this way. Normally I can only get to my knees. I don't know if that's good or bad really, but do both sides. I normally do about 5 reps a side. Okay, now I do a combination of side to side and flexion and extension. I just did that opposite, by the way, but I don't know. I actually don't really know how I'm going to show you this exactly, but it's kind of like I'm moving side to side while extension into flexion. So I'm like going through both. I believe this is called okay. And so now I'm just gonna be doing a kneeling forearm stretch. Hands straight. Pretty much in line with your knees. And just lean back. About 10 seconds. Now I just work in my pec. Elbow about shoulder level. Hand straight up. Putting the elbow on the door frame. And kind of like feet 45-degree angle, and they're just pushing against the door frame, getting a stretch in the pec. About 10 seconds on each arm. So now I put my hands up high. I'm pretty just a little bit outside the hips, and just lean forward. I just do this on a doorway. Instead of doing this, you could do like a cobra stretch on a barbell. Just look that up on TikTok or something, or on YouTube, and they'll show you what that is. But yeah, and then just feel a deep stretch in the lats. About 10 seconds. Last sippy poo of Diet Coke. Into foam rolling. Basic foam rolling routine. Very easy. Pretty good. You growing, hardworking boys need to stretch her out. I guess girls too, but hey, whatever floats your boat. This calf stretch. Really, I'm not super, after all that stretching, after all my mobility and stretching, once I get to foam rolling, it's really not too bad. So yeah. Now we work on the hamstring. Like I said, after all the stretching and mobility, it's not bad, but deep tissue work is always needed. Alright. Done with the hammies. Now we're going to go ahead and work into the quads. Now these, I'm naturally pretty tight in my quads and hip flexors, so this is kind of rough, but Oh, man, that hurts, ain't gonna lie. Now, just do some outer hip. Now we work into back. This is my favorite part of the day. Tell you what. Right here, right on the lower back. Couple deep breaths. Let it out. These, I love these. And then actually roll out your back too. Then work farther into like your upper back. That's amazing. All right, now we got lower back and mid back, upper back. Now we just work into lats. This is very important, and your pecs to get that deep tissue work in, because your lats and your pecs are really heavy drivers in the throw. They get stretched and contract literally every single throw. So typically you'll see in guys that after throwing, especially high intensity throwing, the lat and pec is really gonna get pretty sore. So this is really important. Just gonna now last thing, I think, yeah, work into pec. Here is my hip routine. I'm also working to a little bit of lower back, I guess. But yeah, normally I start off with the inside of the hip. This one's like there's two things for the inside of the hip that I do, but this one's just same as a hamstring and quad, kind of start off with something a little pretty easy. Just touch the ground like this and then work your hands back. About 10 seconds.